Hey everyone, welcome to another unboxing slash review Wednesday video. This is my second video of the day, and I'm going to be doing a kind of a showcase, miniature showcase slash review. It was suggested to me a little while ago that I do a review rather than on types of paints such as base, shade, and dry. I do a review on different color schemes, sets of paints. And one of the ones thrown out to me were the ones frequently used by Space Marines. So I decided to start with the most popular Space Marine army and review the new Citadel paints for Ultramarines. So, and at the same time, I'm going to be doing a miniature showcase, so I'll show you what the model turned out like when I used this paint set in the order that GW recommended. And then I'll be doing a tutorial later in the weekend, probably on Saturday, which I'm going to call Space Marine Saturday. Every little while, every couple of weeks or so, I'll do a Space Marine tutorial using GW specific sets of paints that they recommend and reviewing how they look on the miniature. So without further ado, so here is the set of paints that I use for to create the Ultramarine color. So starting off with the base, which is Macarons Blue. I'll just zoom out on these ones. So starting off with Macarons Blue, then I did a Drakken Nightshade shading. Then I did a dry, so a very light Drybrush of Ethereum Blue, followed by the two layers. As you're probably well aware now, each of the base colors that Citadel produces has two associated layers, one of course lighter than the other, which I think is a really, really cool system. It creates this really nice formula for each one. The first one is Altdorf Guard Blue, and the second one is Calgar Blue. And finally, I used a Guilliman Blue Glaze to tie all the colors together. So yeah, that's cool stuff. So now here. So first of all, now I'll just do a model showcase. I'll show you guys exactly what this group of paints led to. And here he is right here. So as you can see, this color scheme actually produced a pretty nice colored Space Marine. I was actually concerned for a while after doing all the colors until the end. Until you do the final glaze, the coloration just doesn't seem very Ultramarine-y. But in the end, you actually get a product that's really nice and that has several shades to it. Basically, the new way that Citadel recommends you paint these guys is by building up layer by layer of color and eventually blending them all together using a glaze, which is really cool. And it really works well in the end. So you can see here, there's tons of different shading. There's a bunch of different colors on it. So you can see all the lines, so it's nice. Yeah, and just a variety of colors. So you can see it has highlights, and they're all really nice. There's a bunch of different tones, so it's really cool. To me, the new system, they're not really going to be unidimensional colors. It'll be a bunch of different shades. One model will probably have 4 or 5 different actual colors of blue on it. So pretty nice. And now I'll just go through what I think about each part of the technique and just what my thoughts on it were, because as I said, this was the final product and I was actually quite happy with it. So as I said, expect a tutorial on this guy probably later in the week, probably Saturday, and hope you guys like that. So what I thought was, though, when I was painting it, I'll just go back step by step. So first of all, start off with Macarons Blue. Sorry about that. So Macarons Blue is a great color. I really, really like it, and it went on very well. It went on very smoothly, and just a single coat covered the model. Didn't have any concerns about whatsoever. I really like the new base colors. As I said, they're tuned to the old. They're kind of a cross between the old colors and foundations, so they tend to go on really well, and with a single coat, have great coverage. Drakken Nightshade, again, really dark in the model, got in all the recesses. I really like the new shades. They tend to have really nice surface tensions. They go in all the cracks very quickly, and the only thing is it took a while to dry. I'd say a good I waited about 45 minutes to make sure that all the parts were dry, maybe a little bit less, but I just, it for some reason took a very long time to dry. And then I gave the model a dry brush. Now this is the part where I didn't really think that this step was useful or necessary in the end. The Drybrush of Ethereum Blue just didn't seem to fit well in this scheme. It didn't seem to make sense why it would be this early on, and most of the areas in which the Drybrush applied to ended up being went over anyway later on with one of the 2 layer paints. So my overall review of this, of using Ethereum Blue in this particular case, if you're painting Ultramarines, you probably don't need to use this paint particularly. You could probably just build up the edge highlights using the other 2 layers like I did, and it turns out pretty nicely. Very little of the Ethereum Blue Drybrush you can actually see in the end, especially when you blend all the colors in the end with a glaze. So if you have to buy only 5 of these, I definitely recommend skipping the Ethereum Blue. The next one I just did layers, as I said, of Ultramarine Blue, so I'll just put the Space Marine here. So what I did was almost all the center of the pad and all the parts of the head here, that is pretty much Ultramarine Blue. And then I did edge highlighting, which you can see along the bottoms here and towards the head. That is actually the edge highlighting of Calgar Blue. And as I said, at this stage when I was painting it, I was actually kind of concerned about the final product color. It seemed very light and not very ultramarine-y. Ultramarine, I mean like the old style of Ultramarines. So I was a little bit concerned, but by far I think the MVP of this entire paint set to paint Ultramarines is the Glaze product, Gilliman Blue. I could not have enough positive things to say about Gilliman Blue. It went on really nicely, and when it dried, it really did blend the colors and give everything a nice blue tint, so that it darkened the colors a lot from a really light blue that just to me did not fit to this Ultramarine blue. And this is actually very, very close to my my stereotype of what an Ultramarine should look like in color. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. So my overall opinion is I definitely recommend using this step-by-step process recommended by Citadel. I'd probably avoid using the Ethereum Blue. I don't think it was that necessary or that required. So, but yeah, and expect a painting tutorial later in the week on this guy, and I'll see you soon. So till next time, this is Jay saying happy painting, everyone.